Hello, I'm Quinn Hogan. I'm here to present the simulation portion of Lab 3. So when the system powers on, the first thing we do is check to see if we have our input from our second lab's trainer. And if we do, that's the all systems go. And it starts going through the processes. It starts the motor and it starts the timer, and then it follows down to this block, which says pretty much is sensor 1 or sensor 2 on, and that's using to represent an emergency has occurred. And if no, then it also checks to see if we still have the all systems go to make sure that there wasn't a fault there. If not, it stops the motor, stops the timer, and starts flashing the fault bulb, which is the 120 volt bulb. And then it checks to see if the emergency overswitch has been triggered. If it does, then it starts the timer, turns off the flashing bulb, and turns on the motor. And then it goes up and loops back in to check the sensors again. And as long as everything's good, it also goes and it'll check to see if the timer's done. And if the timer's not done, then it moves back into the checks again. If it is done, then it turns off the motor and then turns on the task complete LED that we have. So if I hit start, we see nothing happens right away. Timer's not going. And then if I trigger that and make it stay on, we see our motor turned on and our timer is now counting. And if we, some reason, lose our signal, then it starts the flashing LED, stops the timer, and stops the motor. If you try to hit the reset, it just kind of bumps a little bit, but it briefly turns it on, and then it turns it right back off. So if you don't fix your fault, then if we turn it back on and try to reset, it'll continue to run. And then if either sensors are detected indicating a fault, then it does the same thing as if we lost signal from the circuit trainer from lab 2. And then if you hit the reset, it starts counting again, and that works with either sensor. Then if we just let it run out the rest of the time, we should see that it stops the motor and then turns on the task complete LED. And there we see our task complete LED has actuated. Now we're over here at our ladder logic. We follow the basic same kind of flow through the circuit. We're going to check to see if all systems go. The emergency flag's in there just because I did this slightly different. I actually built this or programmed this first and then did the flow logic. So the all systems go. If that's good, it'll go and start the timer. And then if it's running, then if the timer's running, then and the emergency flag isn't on and the task complete isn't done, then the motor runs. If the motor's running, then it's checking both sensors and the all systems go. If either sensor actuates indicating a fault or we lose our all systems go, then it will set the emergency flag, which will stop the motor and won't be able to start the timer. And then we had stopped the timer and then started flashing the bulb when the timer's done. So if we had gone through the whole thing and the timer was done, then it would trigger the task complete light and stop the motor and just turn on that LED. And then the emergency end switch is like if the bulb's flashing and there's emergency, you have to hit that, and then it will reset the emergency flag, start the timer again, and then reset the flashing fault bulb. And then if the timer again is running, then the motor's running. So if I hit start here, and then again trigger that on so that it keeps going, you can see that our flag has, or that our timer is running and our motor's on. If I go and hit one of the sensors, it starts flashing the LED and stops the timer. If I hit the reset or the end emergency, it restarts the motor and continues counting. Other one, reset the motor, keeps counting, and then if I lose signal, again, it will flash that LED. And now I will let it finish out and show that it does the shows complete, task complete LED turns on and the motor turns off.
So our second circuit, lab circuit, is still working. So that will turn that on, and then we'll go like this. And it is producing a power surge, which is making this click. So that's why we're getting an error here. And then like our reset switch is not fixing it because it's just continuously giving that power surge to this. So for our circuit, we are just going to simulate our lab 2 with a switch. Now this is our lab 2, so our motor turns on. And if we get any errors from our thing, then that stops and our light starts flashing. And then our reset switch turns on our motor back. And then like this, even like this again, if we get an error, that starts flashing and everything, our reset. And then once the 30 seconds is up, our yellow light will turn on. So then everything is succeeded.